Morning, everyone. This video has been, let's say, a long time coming. It's based on feedback from many developers, MVD owners, and WordPress owners, and a lot of owners on different platforms, but from both sides. So the actual client of the developer and also the developers. So let's start. This video is going to be about how to pick a good developer. Okay. Um, So let's begin with the marketplace, okay, and the reviews. One or most of the time, what I get is, hey, Louis, I picked you because of your reviews, because you have a lot of reviews, and don't do that. Reviews could be fake. I could have paid a lot of people to create all these reviews, okay? I know I'm not supposed to say that, but we need to be objective here, okay? This could be a lot of uh, friends that join, and although on BD they actually check if that person owns a site, okay, you can't trust if they have, oh my God, 5 stars or 10 stars or how many stars they have. Look, there's a bad review here. This is something that I'll be talking about, I think, on this video, on the other one, which is basically the opposite, how to pick a client. So on this one, we're talking about how to pick a developer. But you can't trust the reviews. I mean, they might say something here that might help. If they go really deep into it, that could be something positive in regards to um, how they deal. Well, in my case, how I deal with a client or somebody. Okay, but if I'm analyzing this like if it was a Amazon review, so if they do something very small. I'm not saying local magnifying did it like this, but it's very small, excellent customer service, attention to detail, thank you, bye, something like that. Then many times for spam sake, or me paying third-party companies to leave reviews, they normally behave like this. I mean, this is a real person, but what I'm saying is you need to be careful if you're going to be picking somebody just because of the reviews. Okay, if that's the only indicator that you have, then you need to start looking for something additional. Okay, you need to look for something that um, apart from the reviews, it gives you more value into who you're going with, who they are, what knowledge do they have, etc., etc., etc. Because, for example, this is part of the marketing, a marketing strategy where you go here and you see, okay, yeah, they got a lot of reviews, many of them are positive, this and that, and blah blah blah. Okay, so you do need to take that into consideration. And from my own experience, I I give reviews probably at max 15% of the 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 weight that I would have when I'm picking somebody. Okay, it's like you picking well, at least in my case, if you're picking a developer, I don't care how many certificates you have, you'll literally be going through a test, live test, no less, and that's where I know what you have been practicing, all that. I'm not asking if you can memorize a bunch of things. I'm just asking about your logical thinking, critical thinking in regards to solving problems, which is what I care more about. Okay, I do it live because that's how you'll often be um, solving the issues in a live manner. So again, don't worry about reviews. Don't just listen to reviews. Search for the person. Well, I'm Luis Alvarado, but this is the group that I created a long time ago with multiple freelancers working together for React Directories owners. Like a bunch of, well, here you can see a bunch of years ago. Um, but that was it. That was the only goal, to offer um, good support, professional support, or knowledgeable support to be the owners. The end. Now on the marketplace, you're gonna find every type of, or most type of services that you might need. So you have people that specialize in software development, like us. You have people that specialize in marketing. You have people that can specialize in social media sites. You have ones that are groups. You have ones that are alone. Gunita, for example, she's very good. Lalid, Kalpna, very good. Um, and there's others. Okay, I know Fernando also knows how to work. There's others, obviously, I can't say anything. When the marketplace started, I tried to help as many developers, especially developers, as I could. But there's now other people that are not developers, but they also add value to your site. Like for example, SEO services, local AdWords. I don't know who this is, but they're literally telling you what what value they can add to your site. It's not related to development. It's related to SEO, web design services, maybe UX, user experience, UI, user interfaces, all that. Okay, so those are additional added, let's say, bonuses that you get from the marketplace. But they're not developers. That means that you can look for marketing experts here, SEO experts, developers, and so on and so forth. Like there's a bunch of people here. I don't know most of them. The ones that I actually trained in the beginning are not here anymore, which is part of the reason why I'm doing these videos. Because on BD, you do get very few actual developers. I actually posted something on the Facebook group about it, like the minimum requirements to be a developer here, and it's not easy. It's not easy being a good developer on the brain direction because of the amount of things that it asks. It's not like WordPress. That's why one of the points that I put there on the post, I literally say this is not WordPress, meaning this is not a pay me and I click install plugin and then you'll think I did it because oh my god I'm an amazing developer. No, this is I need to think about a solution from the software point of view or a functionality or something that automates some process. So you have to think. Here you can see even legal. Wow, that's pretty cool. But you see a lot of people, and when you go over here, you see a lot of reviews. You know, a bunch of reviews. Again, for example, we do very minimum marketing. We do a lot of guidance. If you see my videos, you see that I do a lot of guidance in regards to marketing. We're not a marketing firm. We're not a lawyer kind of thing. So reviews don't do anything for you when you're looking that for that specific type of thing. So here you can see um, where here. Maybe this guy knows more about SEO than us, or even web design. Maybe that legal one, I mean, not maybe, but if they specialize in legal and the legal aspect of it, that's awesome because a lot of you guys actually need legal legal advice. So that's good. That's good. You're getting other type of categories or values on the marketplace, which is awesome. And you can see that they don't have any reviews, which means it for me it doesn't matter really. Reviews are just they could be fake for all I care or you care. So that's what I needed to talk about in regards to the marketplace. That there's a lot of uh, options here they can pick. They can specialize in multiple things. Okay, and the reviews are just a little part of what they can offer. Okay, if you go to my profile, for example, I have no idea. There we go. Uh, oh, okay. So now we got the link there. But you can see here some of the things that we offer. Do you see legal advice? Do you see marketing? No, no. That's why for a business point of view, you need like a team or a team of advisors or people that you can grab ideas from to make sure or to enhance the probabilities of your site being successful. That's all. That's that's the gain here. That's all that you're trying to do with your online business site to make it profitable, to make passive income if possible, and to grow from there. Anyway, removing or just jumping into the actual points that I wanted to talk about are type of bad indicators about a developer, good indicators about a developer, and some of the things that I actually um, grabbed from. I already had most of them, but there's a movie. I recommend watching the movie Jerry Maguire. This is basically the values or ethics that I follow, at least in my life, as my parents taught me, as I've always done basically my whole life. Either with my students, because I was in my originally in my country, I was a college professor and postgraduate professor too. So there are things that the students teach you to enhance their own values later on. And there's a lot of values that you learn from that. So anyway, so let's say that you're about to pick a developer, and obviously it's not just the reviews, it's not just the information you see there, it's not just if they have a YouTube channel or they teach you or they help on the Facebook, because all that could be marketing, okay? Just marketing, probably, okay? Or they could be doing it from their own heart or whatever, but you need to dig into the reality, the situation for that specific developer before they join as a partner or as somebody that you're going to be trusting your site to. Okay? So let's begin. So, bad indicators. This is the experience that I've had with other developers when I'm meeting developers, but this is also going to be applied in the other video for clients, owners, site owners in general, not just BD, in general. So, a bad indicator of a developer is if they charge you for the first meeting. It doesn't matter how long it lasts. Like maybe they charge you a bunch of money and it's a 15-minute meeting and it goes really bad in the beginning. You're like, this is worthless. So why for me I consider that a bad thing is because you're getting to know the client and you're gonna charge them in the beginning. Really? Like there's no intro. Hey, my name is Luis Alvarado. I've developed this or that in this platform. I can help you with this, with that. I want to know you better. I want to meet you. I want to know what your needs are, what your target audience is, what products are you selling, what are you bringing to the table, so people would join your site. Why would they join your site? What are you offering? All those things. Getting to know you better. So if I'm gonna charge you for that first meeting, it looks bad. Okay, it just for me it's a bad indicator. Unless the meeting is about training. Unless the meeting is very long, because through emails or chat you both ended up in a place where okay, the first meeting is gonna be about this and that and that. My time costs money, so that will justify that. But if you're like, hey, I need help on this site. Okay, friend, first meeting is $500. You're like, wow, there's no other option. Like the only thing that you say, hey, I need help with my site, and they're charging you immediately. People, that's a bad indicator. They're more into the money than actually helping you. And on this, when you're building a business site, I've said this many times. The business owners, they're only looking at the tip of the iceberg, the tip of the tip of the iceberg. And as a developer, and if you actually worked on BD or other business platforms that you had to customize, you know that there's a titanic size iceberg in there that they need help, and they need help in many ways, in many ways, and they don't know that. I would say 90% of the people that I've talked to, sometimes I end up talking to them in alien language because of the amount of things that I need to explain to them that they need help with, either in short or long term. I gotta fix that. That's my error. But they don't understand the scope that they're getting themselves in, and also in what you're able to help with. So as the client, you need to ask in what you'll be helping me with, what are the values that you'll be bringing to the table or to the business side of the platform, and all those questions that you should not be shying away from. No, ask everything. It's your business. It's your online business. You're the one that's going to be generating income on the site. Probably it'll be in the long time, it'll be a big income, which is what happens with many other partners that we have and non-partners that we've helped. That like they make good profit, and that for the ones that want to make the site into a profitable site, that would be a nice goal to have. But you need to plan the whole thing, And on that planning, you need to make sure that the developer understands what you're trying to do from the beginning, what your goals are. If you make them into stages, even better. But everything happens in the first meetings, so that if the first meeting that starts with that developer, they charge you only after you ask for help, again, very bad advice. Second point here, or I don't know how many points, but this is a collection of the things that we have experienced. So prices are way high or way low. So developers might charge by very low for something. It does not mean that you'll get low quality stuff. It might mean that, for example, they're in a country that, financially speaking, they're able to charge that low, and they have good knowledge about it. But it also means that they might not understand the BD platform, or they might in most cases it's like this. They think it's a click away. They don't need to think. Those are non-developers. Those are people that sell themselves as developers when they're not. When you put them into a challenge, they're like, yeah, I can't do this. They might not even give you the refund or something. Same for the high ones. They might charge you a bunch of money because they know that you need that badly. I've had cases where they hire people from freelancers, from Fiverr, from Monster, from other platforms that they sell themselves as BD experts, or like last week they told me guru, a guru. Really? I mean, I built part of BD and I'm not a guru. So careful with that. Careful with that because they might be, pushing that marketing through your eyes. And if you buy into it and then you waste, it's not the money, it's the time that you waste waiting for results, then I'm hoping that you will learn your lesson there. Okay. So normally, for example, for partners that work with other developers, we I play the dumb card. Like, hi, I'm the one that adds members into the site, or posts or something like that. And then I start asking a bunch of questions. And depending on the answers, I tell the partner, no, this person doesn't know anything about BD. Or they're just trying to go around the question, or they're skipping it, or they should have answered this specific thing, which would have told me if they're really an expert in that language, that area, in IT, etc., etc., etc. So I always play the dumb card. I don't even introduce myself as Luis Alvarado. I'm, Jerry. Mike. I'm Ryan. I could be anybody else. I can even change my accent a little bit, or my voice or something. Okay. So that's to prevent the partner, especially the partner, from being conned, or scammed or something. Okay, or especially losing the time there. So for the prices, when they're way high or way low, they might be good, but they also might be um, they might be low quality, or they might be taking advantage of you. Okay, our prices, for example, let's say are fair. We charge, and I hope all the developers would follow through with that same idea, by difficulty. So when I know that something is very easy, we end up creating a video for it. That's why you see all those videos on the YouTube channel. Okay, because we ended up creating a video for that because I consider those very easy to do. Um, but if I tell you it's 1400, 1500, 8000, I actually tell you why. Okay, and the time frame that it takes. You are free to look for somebody else that can pay less. Awesome. But do know, again, the quality, maintainability, future proofing it, and other things that you need to take into consideration when developing in any platform, actually. Okay. So there's no guarantee or no ethics. So with this, you are a developer and somebody asks for a project and the project takes a month to do. If it took a month to do, there's certain widgets, features, forms, changes in the database that you did that you need to take into consideration if they break or they don't behave the way that the owner wanted it to behave. So if the owner comes back, I don't know, like in 2 weeks after that, or like week after that, one day after that, with a bug report, do have some ethics. Go there and tell them, yeah, this is covered. This still covered. You don't have to pay anything. Let's fix it. Okay. Unless, obviously, unless they tell you something that was not in the scope, or the original scope, and it basically breaks the whole thing, which also happens, which is part of the of knowing, the roadmap and the things that you want to do with a with with a site, which is what the first meetings are for. First meeting, the second meeting, all that, to get the idea. If you're able to think like the business owner, you're able to code better for the business owner. That's It's common sense. That's it. Okay? So don't be a you know what and don't offer, like I've seen cases where one day later they ask, hey, this select box, this query, this thing is making the whole site slow, or it's, well, you need to pay $400 more, $500 more for the same thing that you pay for to be customized, and you're not asking a year later, or 3 months later or something. You're asking like 1 week later. That's unethical, at least from my point of view. You can argue anything that you want. From me, it's unethical. Basing your opinions on reviews, we already talked about that. Now you know that my reviews, I could have bought 100 and I don't know how many people there. Okay. When a group of developers or a specific developer, unless they work in marketing, but if they offer development services and they dedicate themselves as hell to marketing, it's it's a red flag. Okay. If your work doesn't speak by itself, which is the typical, like all the pro developers that I've known my whole life, from the creators of programming languages to like Linux Torvald, you do not need to know if you need to hire them or not. You got Git because of him. You got Linux because of him. There's no you don't need to continue the whole thing, okay? Um, So if that guy doesn't market themselves, so same thing here. If you can speak from the point of view of a developer when you're talking to the client and tell them, okay, these are the things that we can offer, and these are the things that we've done so far, and here let me show you. Obviously, without breaking an NDA or something like that, but you're able to show stuff, value, knowledge there, awesome. But if you're all about, yeah, join us and we'll do miracles on your site, and and this specific one, you'll rank, your site will be ranking in like a week or two, dude. Oh, come on. That that's just that's not even a red flag. That went right into another color. So now, talking about this part, you're talking with a developer or the developers, okay? You need to analyze the conversation. If you see that most of the conversation is about, well, if you pay this, we give you that. Well, this costs this more, or this, it's more about the money, and they actually focus on more about you paying at that moment than anything else. They don't ask about what your site is about, who you are, what you're offering, why you're offering, why are you why are you creating this site? What's your target audience or demographic? Why are you members going to be joining? What are your members? What do they get from here that they're not getting where they are right now? Or products or like, again, common sense. You are talking to a developer that's going to be making stuff for your site. This is not about just BD. This is about a lot of platforms that we work with a lot of business owners that we work with, that have worked with other developers. And all of you, most of you already went through the BS year or years of BS, and you had a great experience, great, with a lot of lost money, lost time, especially lost time. And that's why you need to take into consideration the value that you're getting during that first meeting. first, how do they say this? They say the first appearance counts, or the first look counts, or something like that. Well, that's this. That's from both ends. The developer seeing who you are, and you seeing who the developers or the developer is. Okay. There's some cases where this is really bad ones. They actually go away really fast on the marketplace, but you pay and they go away. And this is the typical case. With us, we really, I mean, this happens to everybody, but we have like a rule that there's a minimum that if you're under that minimum, you have to pay 100% because of the time and dedication that we put into the site, which is off-putting because nobody wants to pay 100%. Okay. But I gotta tell you the bad things about us too. So you need to know, again, being objective here. But there are some cases where if you don't know enough about the developer or the developers, you might want to consider, hey, let's do 50-50, or 50, and after a month 50, the 50 or 25, or however you want to handle that. But at least you both sides talk about it. Okay, and if they get to an agreement, awesome. They need to keep that agreement. Misinterpreting for their own benefit. So on the tour software, for example, I had this case where we put single projects, just in case single projects are non-partner projects, you don't pay a monthly. Single projects are you come to us, and like the typical developers, I tell you, um, okay, this customization that you want to do will take this long and it will cost this much, and we might do it in stages, or we might do it this way or that way. There might be during that time frame hiccups, issues that we need to take into consideration because either the implementation is new to the platform, or it got complex, or there's something that we were not able to analyze until we had something done. Those are things that happen. Okay. But one of the things that I've seen is that we put there single projects starting at $500. Okay, and I've gotten so far 2 emails where they actually literally said they told me everything they wanted to customize, and I told them, okay, here's the price, and they were like, hey, but it says here that it's $500. It doesn't say that it's $500. Starting at $500. If your project is around $500, I'll tell you it's $500. Okay? If it's lower than $500, on some specific cases, we do it for free, and we even create a video for it. A lot of you BD owners already know that we do that with you guys, and that's why we got almost 90, or I think we just arrived to 90 different business owners that we have accounts for, that we help them, sometimes on a daily basis. But starting at $500 doesn't mean that you will charge $500 for any type of custom project. So that's from the point of view of the owner. From the point of view of the developer, you have to be truthful in the beginning. You gotta say, if the project costs $500, you're not gonna say later, well, we had a hiccup and now it's $5,000. Okay? No. Assuming their abilities are tied directly to their English level. So I've seen cases where, for example, some clients think that because they speak horrible English, they know coding in a horrible way. No, I've dealt with the developers that had a hard time talking to them because of their English, or what some people call English. But when they start coding, I'm like, holy crap! I mean, I'm a baby compared to them. Okay, so uh, bad indicators that are misconstrued there are like this one. Assuming their abilities are tied directly to their English level. This is not a bad indicator in regards to the knowledge. It's in regards to the communication skills, which is, I put it in the bad indicators just because of the communication part. If you need to communicate with them and you're having a hard time and they are good developers, I mean, you have options. You can coordinate with the middleman to talk to them, or just look for somebody else if you don't want to do that. But know that not all developers that don't speak English are bad developers. Sometimes they'll amaze you. Sometimes you'll learn from there. selling themselves as developers when they are better at marketing. There's this snake tongue or worm tongue is I'm phrasing one of the partners that we had because they actually talked to two other developers on the marketplace, and at this point, there's a lot of you that already know who I'm talking about. When they sell themselves like way too much into things, and they ask really catchy questions just to catch you, okay, like a bait and switch kind of thing. Um, you know who they are, and this is tied to that other point that I mentioned here. Okay, this is just left to the client, to the business owner, to decide if this is an actual developer or they just, you know, pushing that marketing through your eyes. When meetings are 900% selling your stuff, selling you stuff, sorry, and 10% hearing you. So you have a meeting. The meeting is like an hour, and if you record the meeting, we normally record all meetings. Okay, so we can keep track of what was said, organize the information if we need to, and other stuff so we can optimize the development process, future meetings, future content for those meetings, and future ideas for the next stages, like stage one, stage two. Anyway, we do the recording for a lot of reasons. But when you listen to your own recording, you're like, holy mother, this person was just selling me during almost the whole hour their package, their deal, their service, the something, the retainer, the whatever. Okay? Instead of doing this, they should be 100% listening to everything that you're saying and giving you feedback. Oh, well, here it is. So, understanding what you're saying, giving you feedback about it, working together because the goal is to make sure that the site does well. If not, you as a developer, you're not gonna keep that person, and as the business owner, you're gonna lose time and money, especially time again. Um, I put this here because I'll be talking about that because it's part of the values that we have. Do not get bullied. Do not be afraid as a business owner. Sometimes on WordPress sites, on other sites, when you hire a developer, they're very evil developers. I don't know why CNN or somebody has not touched this point, but sometimes you hire a developer and if you don't pay, things magically break on your site. Money disappears from your Stripe accounts or stuff like that. Okay, and I put this part here because I've known a lot of business owners that are afraid of pointing the finger, saying, or just mentioning that publicly. Don't do it. Don't be afraid. I mean, like publicly say it. You are not the only ones. Trust me, I've talked to a lot of people. You are not the only ones that have suffered. Okay, as business owners. If you have an issue, publicly say it because you'll be probably saving the money that maybe somebody saved, a single business owner, maybe a mom, a single mom, or a single dad, or somebody that actually struggle, and they're gonna put that money on that same bully that you had the experience with, but you didn't say anything, and then it happens again and again and again. So just say it. And along those same lines, dude, if I screw up, tell me. Tell me. It is the only way that I can learn and I can be better. Don't like tell me later or something like it has happened a few times. Like we've had okay, so we've had 2064 64 65 Bring Directories owners that we work with, unique ones. Out of those, there's been 11 issues. Okay, issues in total, either bad or they were good. So, for example, there were cases where in those 11, I believe there were 5 or 6 that the business owners started with us, and after a week, more or less a week, they came forward and they said, well, they're having these issues and that things, and especially with COVID. But that was before COVID. And we understood and we did a refund. And that's it because we understand their cases. We also went through that. Like when I came to Costa Rica, you would assume that I have money here. We had $222. When I came to Costa Rica, I had $222. If you do the math and you study Costa Rica, you know that it's not a cheap country. So I had to go house by house. Hey, I repair computers. Hey, I teach about programming and computers and software and stuff. And I day by day. That's how. So I understand when there's needs, especially family needs. Okay, that's not a bad thing. You do not need to be afraid to tell me that. Just obviously don't tell me 6 months later because it's a little bit too late. But if you tell me first month, I understand, so I can plan ahead and I can organize my team because you'll be helping with that feedback. Same with any other developers. If you tell a developer, and without being afraid, of course, you'll know if they're gonna be this type of person or they're gonna be a very open, understandable person. Okay. Um, Offering future profits for free or lower current ones. So this does not apply because I put everything here about developers and business owners. So this one doesn't really apply. I don't see it applying. Like leave in the comments if you see this applying to a developer. But it's more about a client saying, "Hey, if you can do this site for free, then the next ones you can charge me." This is for the other video. Promising something out of their control. So, for example, I'm an SEO expert, a guru, let's say. Oh my God, I'm a guru. And I say your site will be ranking first on Google by February 2nd. Holy mother. So, February 2nd is like in 12 days from now. Amazing. Don't promise something that's out of your control. First, you don't work on Google. Two, if you actually worked on Google, you know that's not possible. Because you have the staff that analyzes the site, the humans, and then you got BERT. BERT is the AI that one of the AIs that Google uses for this. Okay, so don't do that. Blackmail, amazing offers, hostage situation. So let me talk about this. There's some developers that will tell you if you don't pay, we'll remove the code, we'll break the code, or maybe they don't even say anything. There's some developers that say, well, here, install this on your site for free. And maybe that's spyware. Okay. And there's some developers that actually put the widgets and code on your site and it's encoded. The only people that can actually touch that code will be themselves. So you can't go to another developers. All are bad red flags, bad indicators about a developer. Okay, if that amazing offer sounds too good to be true, you know where that phrase ends. Okay, there's also other developers that are copy pasta, meaning they don't invent stuff themselves, they don't solve those, things themselves, their own way. They just copy stuff. We get that a lot. It's actually one of the reasons why we want to start building our own platform, because for the past 7 years, thanks to partners and other video owners, because not even us, the probabilities of us knowing about that is very low. But thanks to a lot of business owners that have actually come to us and told me, "Hey, Louis, I saw your code on my site here. Hey, Louis, I saw that somebody copied this. That's exactly what you showed on one of our meetings, or even on the videos." And they sold you that code, by the way. Like I've had this case where they sold. There was a free code, for example, that they were selling that for $500, $600. There was a code that we had um, that enhanced the categories a lot. That was 750. They were selling it for 2,500. No credit, no notification about, "Hey, Louis, we want to use your code for," which is the typical way of developers handling stuff like this. No, nothing. So they're called copy pasta, like copy pasters. They just copy stuff They don't know the pastimes because it's a mix. They don't know how the thing works. They just know it works. The owner doesn't know anything. They pay because they're a little bit different than myself. I suck at marketing. There's some people, no, you don't say that. I've seen marketing experts like real. There's few of you that actually have taught me a lot. But we need to, again, we need to be objective. We need to be open here, and we need to be um like acknowledge that I can't say I'm a marketing expert, nor I can say we specialize in marketing. No way, in no way. We give some advice. That's it. There's other marketing experts there, but these people actually specialize in marketing and copying code. Okay. If the developer negotiates for every penny, it means you tell them, hey, I want this customization on the homepage. Okay. And that customization, for example, edits 3 widgets. Okay, that's $500. And then they say, well, but I also want to do it with this other part. And that customization touches the same 3 widgets. Let's say you're just, let's say, just copy pasting something else and you're just adding a different code there. They charge you, instead of $500, they say $1,000. You're pushing it as a developer because one day this business owner will know who I am and they'll explain what the hell happened there. And I'll end up telling them the truth. And I'll also, worst case for you, I'll explain to them how they can do it themselves. And they'll know that you just gave them a really good BS there. Take that into consideration when you're going to be doing this or or a bunch of the other stuff. I am here to defend developers, but trust me when I say the videos that I'm making there are to defend most, if not all, of the business owners because they serve that. Too many ideas and features, too little time. Okay, you come as a business owner and you give them some ideas. This also happens to me, by the way. Somebody comes with some ideas and I give them some ideas back, and then the thing turns into a circus. But they start selling you ideas on inside the same time frame, and things just get horrible super fast. Okay. Um, this is just for the client side, but you do need to process this in stages, step by step is the best way of doing it. Playing the blame game. This goes both ways. So if you pay for something, it didn't work, and the person tells you you're using it in the wrong way. A developer should also take into consideration the UX, the user experience, how they use the site. We today, for example, this week we had an issue with Tony. So Tony, she had a great idea about how to merge multiple sites and for the sites to actually work together, and one site being the master site that can control the other ones, and blah 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 blah. The thing is very complex. This is a case where I could easily play the blame game, but if we didn't take the UX and UI into consideration, this is where the developer says, "Whoops! If you didn't understand it, like Sun Tzu in the Art of War, in the Art of War, you know that the first steps are I explain it bad or I'm not explaining it, in the same level." So you do need to take into consideration the thinking from the point of view of the video owner, and you do need to make it easier for them, maybe hints, guidelines, stuff like that. Not being responsible. You know where I'm getting with this in regards to many things that happen with developers and people just give up. You again, going back to this point, don't be afraid. Mention that publicly so you save people time and money with those developers. Okay. The Jerry Maguire rule. So know your value, you and the value of the developer. Do not do business with bad people, be developers or clients, because there's a lot of bad things, as you can see, that can happen. Okay. Be fair, be objective for both sides, and not everything is about money. Not everything is about how much you can get from that specific client or how much cheap you can get the job done, because you'll You get what you pay for. Let's put it like that. Okay. Now, good things about developers. They if they come, you start talking to them and they have a good plan. Okay, let's divide that into stages. Let's do it this way and that way. Let's put the minimum viable product there for the site, and then you launch like this, assuming you have a deadline, of course. If you see them proactively doing that with you and guiding you, that's what this part is for too. Through that stage, because you don't have anything, that's a good developer. That's somebody that it's actually caring for you and your business site and for the future. Okay, this actually goes very deep into other things. So I'm just, if you understand these two parts, there's not a lot I gotta explain there. We could have it would be awesome to have an open um, um, conversation with several business owners and talk about a lot of the things here. It would be very awesome because a lot of people and would learn from it. Have possible deadlines or stage deadlines. So if it helps if a developer knows that, hey, do you have a deadline? Hey, you're adding too many things to the process. Can we divide that into stages, and each stage has a deadline? Of course, deadlines could be moved again because of things that happen on the site, things that were not analyzed because the developers could not analyze them at that moment because things needed to be developed first and see how the functionality starts to come together. Okay, that's normal. That's normal. It's a lie if you always 100% of the time say it's gonna be done in 12 days and it's always done in 12 days. No, it doesn't. Not always it works like that. Especially if the projects are really big, things start to shift because we didn't take this into consideration. Especially validations of information coming in, being sent out. Like if you try to mix that with Stripe, Mailchimp, Soho, etc. Okay. If the developer wants to work as a team, not as the boss, or just leaving you as the boss, okay, that's good. If you can feel that they're doing teamwork, they're a team. They don't see you as the client; they see you as one more that the site needs help with, and you're both going to be working together towards that goal. Good communication. I know this one gets affected by the English barrier here, but sometimes you can work around that one. Good communication, back and forth, meaning, hey, if I have an error, hey, Susan, I had an issue, this happened here, that, so that the business owner can take that information in and process that. Because maybe, for example, there's some cases where the owner needs to do a presentation that behaves like a deadline. So we have to finish something by that amount of time. Of course, if the amount of information or work that we gotta do can't be done by that moment, you also need to tell them. There's some developers that always say yes, 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 and when 2 minutes before your meeting, they're like, no, we can't do it. Don't do that. You did not give enough time to the business owner to actually articulate or tell their meeting partners, we can't do it today because of this or that. That's where this part comes in. Be responsible for the time of the business owner, for your time as developing on the platform, for the effort on both sides, for the tasks that both have to do, and for the costs that are related to everything there. Okay. Be fair with costs. That's part of the widget thing that I was saying. If you're a developer and you're gonna be charging twice by using the same widgets, dude, that's not the other 50% of the work is not taking you any time. You're just copy pasting stuff. Be fair with the developer. In the future, at some point, they'll know, or some other developer will tell them. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Okay. Have ethics, which basically goes with everything mentioned here. Okay. Care about the other part. You never know what they're going through. I've had cases where, oof, okay, here it goes. I have cases where we had a crisis, a financial crisis last month. That's why we're doing all these things on March. We had a case where one of our partners died in December. And because we've automated everything, We did not know about him. He was from Australia until his daughter contacted us at the end of February. What we did was refunded February, January, and December because because he died in December, in the beginning of December, which is the moral and ethical thing to do. And well, the daughter didn't want to continue with the site, so I also offered her the possibility to sell it on the Facebook group. That's one of the cases. There was another case where the owner did not tell me that her partner, basically the husband, he was suffering from some mental illness, and the husband, when they started out with me, it was the husband and the wife, okay, and they were both working together, and then it was only her. She's a psychological therapist, and she did not tell me anything until probably like 3 months later when he stopped talking to me. Like I wasn't able to communicate. So one of the things that I told her, hey, can we all get together on this and that because I want everybody to be on the same page about all the things that we want to customize on the site. And she told me about the things that were happening and the costs and all that. So we refunded her 2 months, but we still worked on her site for 2 more months. So I don't know if she actually were able to. This happened. We're talking 4 years ago. So I don't know if she was able to launch the site and be fruitful with it and good. But those are ethical things that maybe they don't pay off. But you did not take advantage of us of a let's say critical or very sensitive situation like that. Okay, there's a lot of if it's about client, there's a lot of business owners on BD that require they don't know about this, but they need or require a developer to do magic on their site and to increment the probabilities of their sites to make money. Okay, a lot of them have great ideas, but they don't have the the maybe the monetary situation, or maybe they don't have access to a good developer to do that. Okay, so you need to take that into consideration. It's there's not a lot of competitors. Like I've trained a lot of developers to work on BD, and we're still very few with too many. There's too much demand for the very few that are us, and the ones that are trained that actually went away from BD. So that's sad. Um, Relay if you're having problems or issues that you need help with. If you're a good developer, tell the business owner, "Hey, I'm having this issue with this, so this will take longer." Or if you actually did it faster, tell them that too. Okay? So because they need to take decisions in regards to the staff, their family, the people that they're talking to get financial support for their site, etc., etc., etc. And all this comes together in working together. Okay? I'm sorry I'm doing this last part super fast, but I got a meeting to go to. The video went too long. So I hope this part from the client's point of view helps. The next video is going to be about from the developer's point of view, the bad and good about clients. Okay? So with that said, again, love you all. Think positive and big hugs.